Ross Benjamin. I'm being joined by Doug Upstone as we're going to be covering the West region of the NCAA Tournament. Doug, great time of year to be a sports fan. How's everything out there on the West Coast?
It's excellent, Ross, and you got that right about this is a great time of year. Excited about this, and there's a lot of conjecture out here, especially in Arizona, about what the Wildcats can do. So I got some thoughts on that, and hey, let's dig in.
Yeah, the fans should be awfully excited because, I read your article and I can't disagree with your assessment. I went up and down this West bracket and it just keeps coming to me. It looks like a sure shot Wisconsin-Arizona regional final, which will be a rematch of a regional final from a season ago. And I don't know, can you make a case for anyone else to get to the regional final beside these two teams?
I'm hard pressed to, because, for example, teams like Oregon, they have some weaknesses. So I can't, particularly because of their height. I like how they play. They're, 11-2 down the stretch, but I really can't see, them making a lot of noise. I think BYU wins their game to advance, but I think they'll run into problems with Baylor. Now, that's, of course, on the presumption Baylor moves on. But I think BYU, they have a lot of strength in terms of scoring, but I think on the offensive boards that Baylor is just going to be too tough for them. But again, I think Baylor eventually will be dismissed. So when it comes really down to it, Ross, I think Wisconsin and Arizona are going to be the two teams that are going to meet. And really, it's a shame that they're not going to be playing instead of a regional final, that these two teams should not be in the Final Four. I mean, it's going to work out however it's going to work out. Too bad, because I really believe these are two of the four best teams in the country.
They certainly are. And you look at the way Arizona has played this season, and I'm very high on them. And then again, Wisconsin, they could play at Sing Sing prison in front of 5,000 murder convicts, and they probably wouldn't be intimidated in that environment either. So this shapes up to be a terrific regional final. Is there any potential upsets do you see in this region early on?
Yeah. To be honest with you, not a lot. Wolford, I think they're going to give Arkansas a game, and probably a better game than most people would think. But I don't think that ultimately that's going to be the case. I think Arkansas does pull through. I really gave some serious consideration with North Carolina and Arkansas. But when I thought back to Bobby Portis, he really struggled against a tall defensive line like Kentucky. Now, granted, Kentucky's is the best in the country, so I'm not equating Nebraska. I'm not North Carolina and Kentucky being exactly the same, but their characteristics are the same, which is they're tall, they got some good athletes, and they're just big players. And Portis, when you look at some of the games that he played against those types of teams, he did struggle. So that's why I thought about Arkansas, but I flipped back to North Carolina, because of that. And then from there, though, I really don't have any team that I look at and say, you know what, this is a sleeper team that's going to slide in. I think this is really going to be a chalk region for the most part, and especially at the top. And I like both Wisconsin and Arizona to move on.
Well, you know what? I'm going to like Wisconsin in the regional final. We'll get to you in 1 second. And the other part of the equation there is I think this might be the easiest region. Possibly the East is second, or they possibly are both the easiest regions. I'd like to get your take on your selection on the regional final, and also if you agree with that assessment as far as this being an easy region and the East as well.
Well, I think my personal opinion, I think the East is actually the easiest. I think the West, there's things about some of the teams that could occur, and it's one of those things you just don't know. But I think the region is fairly difficult because Baylor, brings some different things. I think Arkansas, North Carolina, all those teams pretty much came down the stretch playing well. I just think that the way the NCAA tournament is set up this particular year, the top is really strong and it really slides down afterwards. So when I look at Wisconsin and Arizona, they're just above everybody else. So I think that's the difference, at least for me. But I agree with you about the East. I think the East is definitely simpler.
Or your pick? Come on, I want to hear your pick.
All right. You like Wisconsin, Ross, and a lot of people do. I'm going to go the other way, and this is not a homer pick because I could care less about Arizona in terms of their team. But I think Arizona, with their athleticism that they have, I think their guards can play, and I think they have the length to bother Kaminsky. And I think ultimately they'll be the better team. I like how some of their different guys are playing. Hollis Jefferson's been playing really well. Brandon Ashley in particular has played extremely well. And I know Nigel Hayes, that's the name I'm looking for. He's played really well down the stretch as well. But I just think Arizona just has that little extra something to get the job done. And I think they'll cover the spread in a very, very close game, Ross.
You can get all our articles on the NCAA tournament simply by going to sbrpicks.com. Doug Upstone and Ross Benjamin reviewing again. Doug likes Arizona in the West. I like Wisconsin in the West. Thank you for joining us, folks. We'll be back with another NCAA tournament region preview.